We're back. Sorry, I realized
What?
I had lipstick on my teeth.
Oh, well, you cannot. You can't mess with the perfection. The teeth have to be cleaned.
Yeah.
I saw your video that you posted, and I saw the blue,
And you
like
saw
it
the
came
gap?
through. Yeah,
You
it
saw the
looked so
blue.
good. Yeah,
Isn't
on your,
it?
your lips.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah, yeah.
pretty.
I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna make fun of me because when I watched it back, I could see the inner lip was like there's a really
Oh,
clear line where you can see the red because I didn't go far
oh
in
no,
enough.
I did not notice. I only saw perfection, Miss Ma'am. Only perfection.
Isn't
No, the
it
color's really,
lovely?
really pretty. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. The first show of 2024. How in the F, how in the F did we get here? Melanie was just talking um earlier in the
Mm.
DMs about this will be our third year. Is that what you said? Really?
Gonna be our fourth year in a like as of April. Like not that we've done 4 years, but we'll be in our fourth year come April. But we
Wow.
have done almost 3 full years of this.
Yeah. You know what though? Like it feels like it, and then it also
Mhm.
doesn't. It feels like it went so freaking fast. But you
Yeah.
mentioned like the growth I think that we both have had
Mm.
as human beings over this last few years.
Yeah.
And truly being on this podcast has changed like the fabric of who I am and how I speak to humans. It's
Mm.
amazing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I think I kind of learned to be like confident talking to people when I worked as a flight attendant, but I don't think I had learned to do what we do now, which is like also bring like a level of authenticity to that. Like
Yeah.
to bring yourself to it and to feel like yeah, like when we were chatting in DMs and I was just like the way I know we've done it for so long is because no matter how nervous I get beforehand, once we actually get doing it, I'm calm, like I'm mostly calm and I'm like, oh, even if it's scary and it's people, like we know what we're doing, And I think that it does translate in real life to situations where I'm like feeling anxious and that social anxiety kicks in hard, but then yeah, the training of the pod.
Yeah, no, it's the truth though. And it's like one of those things where I've done this. I
Yeah.
can I can do it in real life. It maybe is a little more awkward in real life, but I still know I can bullshit my way through if need
Yes.
be.
At
So yeah.
least for a limited time. Like
Yeah.
a couple hours, I can do it. Like I can really do it. 2 hours is my golden hours. After that, you'll probably see a different Melanie who needs to hide under the blankets.
She turns slowly into a troll. She slowly morphs into a troll.
I'm always a troll. It's just like lurking. Can I ask you something? What is in that freaking bag behind you? Is that where you're
Oh
hiding the bodies? Like, why is it in
God.
my frame?
I don't know. I'm so mad about that. I'm so mad about that stupid bag because we have a pellet stove for our
What's a
fireplace.
what's a pellet stove?
So
Oh,
so
I'm gonna learn today.
let in my little knowledge of what a
Mm.
pellet stove really is, let me tell you. So basically it is here, let me move this a little. See that?
Ah,
Yeah.
a little
So
fireplace.
it's a fireplace, but instead of like real wood, we
Mm,
have these, like little pellets that are basically like condensed little fire
gotcha.
things.
Like we call them briquettes, I think.
Yes, kind of like that.
Darling,
What
what's in your screen? You're going into the darkness. I
I
can't.
was like, how did that happen?
What was
So
that?
it was my light, my camera, like it got moved.
Uh,
So the bag is the pellets, and Armando came in before we, started recording and got the pellet stove already. So
yeah.
half of the pellets are in the stove ready to be lit.
Mm,
Um, but he just left the bag
what's the
there.
bag?
Normally the bag is on the opposite side, but he just left it there,
Letting the
and I
team
didn't even
down,
notice.
Armando. Although
I didn't.
I gave you a good 10-minute break in between the interview till now, you could have moved the bag.
Oh, I forgot about it. I noticed right before we started recording, and then I totally forgot.
No, I love it. I
Yeah,
actually love random stuff like that. I like seeing like
I know you do because you always ask me what's
about the
behind.
things. Yeah, I do. Oh, I see a stack of Sinner's Isle. That is a
Yeah,
handsome stack, my friend.
thank you.
That's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to throw you from your intro. I was going to say it's fall 2023, flying start, Angela Montoya. And it was quite something seeing it like when you did the physical magazine with your face in that spread. Like that was fucking cool, my friend.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's something about seeing it
Yeah.
physically,
Mm.
really just like, oh wow, okay, like it's a thing. I'm a
Yeah.
thing.
You
So
are
yeah,
a thing. You are a
the
thing.
the
We're in the
thing,
presence of celebrity right now, is what
yes,
I'm saying.
major celebrity. Everywhere
Yeah.
I walk, people are like, wait, do I know you?
Do I know? Who is she? Who is she?
Yeah.
Well,
It's funny because I went to my niece's dance recital,
yeah.
and this girl was like, wait, who do I know you from somewhere?
Mm.
And in my head, I was like, oh my God, she must recognize me. And then she was like, oh wait, are you Joey's sister? And I was like, oh fuck, yes, that's my brother. Yeah. So
You were like, this is it. I'm being recognized in public. It's gonna happen though. It's gonna happen for sure.
they won't
Well, now
recognize me.
that we're on IMDb, it's gonna happen. What is
Woo!
that? Do you know? Like, how would we end up there? Because we're iconic.
I think we'll just go with that. I
Yeah.
think it's when they're like, wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's when they go, you know what, let's IMBD their asses.
Probably because we
I
do video, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know how
I've
the hell it works.
I don't know. I looked up a few other writing podcasts and I didn't see any others. I mean, there were others, but none that I knew. Like ones I expected to be there weren't there.
Oh, so interesting. Yes, so the celebrity. Um, who the hell knows?
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
They're gonna take it down after this episode. They're
They're
like,
gonna be
that was
like,
a
oh, shoot.
mistake. It was it was a mistake. You know, but it was cool to see. Like it's like something like I don't know if you I've throughout life when I'm like looking someone up, I would find myself on those pages. So it was like so surreal. Because every now and then I just type the podcast in. I'm curious what comes up. And I was like shooketh to see that. I was like, this is not, it can't be us. I thought someone else has taken our name and made
Oh,
something.
how dare they? But no, it's
But
us.
no, it's us. And you can click through and it lists all our episodes as well. So
It's
anyone
so
who's been a
interesting.
guest on the show is also on IMDb. So you're
You're
also
welcome.
celebrities listed as, I don't know, like whatever. I don't know why. I think it's the video. It must be podcasts without video. Can't be on that because it's like, we're a show. We're technically a show.
Well, look at us. Look at us. That is us. That's our hey, we're in 2024. We're out here just living it up. We are
Yeah.
we're in things.
Yes. How's the year started for you?
Good. Good, Melanie. Pretty good.
Good.
I like as far as projects are going, I haven't heard anything for a Cruel Thirst yet. Like we're
Mm.
in basically like we're getting close to the end with
Yeah.
edits. We're in like the
Wow.
nitty-gritty. Yeah.
Do we have
And
a date? Do we have a date
I
for a cruel
do.
first?
I do.
Stop everything.
Yes, I do. And it's a while.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm sure I can
Yeah.
tell you guys. I mean, just between us two
Us and
and our
our
listeners
yeah. Yeah.
and
Tell
our
us.
IMDb channel. Is it IMBD? IMDb.
I thought it was also IMBD. It's IMDb. I only just
IMDb. Okay. Just us and our IMDb fans. No, so the date is December 31st.
Ooh, that's a fancy date though. You
Yeah,
always
it's
do
New
these like
Year's Eve.
iconic dates. Yeah. Like that is quite
Yeah.
an iconic day. It is a while away, but it'll give us time to like get excited and get the masses frothing for this
Yeah,
new
froth,
masterpiece.
please. Yes,
Yeah.
frothing. Just froth away. No, when I heard it, because my editor Bria like kind of broke down, which was really
Mm,
cool. She broke down how they came to that date and why and all these things. And I was just thinking, oh, this is awesome. Like for
mm,
one, Sinner's Isle came out on Halloween, an awesome, obviously,
yeah.
day. But now I'm getting another holiday, which would be really
Yeah.
fun. And and yeah, it just gives us more time
Mm,
to celebrate. I got a whole freaking year to
yeah.
go.
But it goes
Uh,
so quick is what we've learned because like
yeah.
that really crept up out, like it was forever and then suddenly it was there, which
Yeah.
wow. So I think
Yeah.
and you're so busy now with lots of projects, it's gonna just fly by. You won't even I don't think it'll be like when you were waiting for stuff to happen with Sinner's Isle because you have a lot cooking away now. So it'll be more like, wait,
Yeah.
what? It's December again?
Yeah. No, for sure. That's how it feels already. Like it feels like
Yeah.
such a different experience from Sinner's Isle.
Mm,
I feel so much more calm about things, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I know what to expect. I mean, obviously things are always shifting, and but like I
Mm,
just keep like clinging to the idea and to like the desire to just enjoy this. And
mm,
whatever these steps are, I just want to enjoy it because who
yeah.
knows how long this journey lasts. Obviously, I want to continue to write for as long as possible, but like
Mm,
who freaking knows? And so like all of these things I just feel like so lucky and
mm,
blessed and grateful and humbled about. So a year, hell yeah. Like we'll
yes.
celebrate it. And yeah, staying busy. I'm working on a new pitch for a new young adult romantasy, and
Yes.
it's really fun, and I think
Mhm.
it's gonna stretch me a lot. And so
Yeah.
I'm freaking excited.
In what
And
way?
then well, because I'm switching over to first person present.
And I love it. Can we just
Yeah.
pause for a moment to say that I have borne witness to you starting to write. I don't know why I'm so close up in your grill now. I had to lean forward. Um, I have borne witness to your first person changeover, and it is yummy. It is you've always been a brilliant writer. There's
Mm,
just like an urgency, a
mm.
closeness that really comes with first person that I love. And yeah, reading a Montoya in first person point of view is gonna rock the publishing world.
Yes, yeah, no one is ready to
No.
be warned. But yeah, no, so I'm really excited for that. And
Mm.
then I want to try my hand in an adult fantasy this year.
Are we
So I
gonna
want
go
to go,
spicy?
yes, girl. I want to go
How
steamy.
How many chili peppers? Like one chili pepper is, kissing behind the school, whatever, bleachers. What do you say in America? Kissing behind the
Yeah,
bleachers.
yeah,
Okay, I did it. And like 10 would be unspeakable things in a public place.
yeah. Ooh.
I
Are
don't
there
know.
doorknobs involved? Are there
Oh,
doorknobs
yes,
involved?
10 would be doorknobs.
I don't know. I don't know what my comfort level is in like
Mm.
writing, like see,
Mhm.
I was just thinking of a thing and I started to giggle. So we'll see how,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fun too.
love steamy romances. So
Is it going to be fantasy? Are we going to get like Ice Planet Barbarians, Montoya?
it could be. I was saying, and spoiler alert for a book that hasn't been written. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings fanfic,
Oh
but
my
without
Lord, that's going to sell like hotcakes. That's an untapped resource.
yeah, so we're going sexy. We're going sexy.
Yes, a little bit of elf action.
Oh,
A little bit of Hobbit in the bleachers.
you know, hey, there's there there is a market for that. There is a
The
market
hairy
for that,
feet. The
honey.
hairy feet
There
do it
is.
for us.
Woo-wee. All right. Yeah, so that's what I'm up to. How
Yeah.
has 2024 been treating you so far?
Yeah, all right. It's been a mixture. It's been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like I think man, it was funny when we were chatting to Camilla and she was like, you can have like so much silence and then all on one day, a bunch of shit can happen. And I so had that the other day. As like I had query whiplash. Like I got in less than 24 hours, I got a rejection on a full that had been out for a while. I got a new offer on a not a new offer, a new request for a full from a freaking dream agent. And I had another freaking like ultimate dream agent also touch base to be like they're still interested in reading. So I have query whiplash, but no, I'm probably just a bit tired from the, like I think something that's getting more awareness recently, like talking mental health stuff, is like how draining the end of year holidays can be for a lot of people. Like that's real. And yeah, for me, it tends to be a time when I'll have more panic attacks than usual. And I
Mm.
run a tight ship with mental health. So it's like where in the past, like I used to deal with that a lot more. When I have those big ones now, it's it's like startling. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just doing my self-care and looking after it. There's been lots of little magical moments too, but she's a bit tired the last couple days from the end of year. So just doing my yoga, doing my meditation, and yeah, like mental health awareness for those of you who like
Yeah.
struggle during that period. Or I think even if you have a lovely time, it really is a season where I don't know about you, but I find that that changing of year, you really reflect on, what was, what is, the meaning
Yeah.
of life. Yeah.
All of the above, 100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel like can you tell when you're like feeling triggered or like it's coming? Like do you
You know
know
what?
like what's
With
getting you?
anxiety attacks, I can. The really shit thing about like the kind of panic attack I had like around New Year's, it's like this, I call these the big ones. Like it feels like dying. If it honest to God feels like dying. Your vision just kind of blacks out and everything. And it was out of the blue. I was just chilling on the couch. So those are kind of the worst because I can't predict them coming.
Wow.
And like I literally, let's laugh about my trauma. I literally was like, and because I've experienced it before, like I've dealt with this for years now. So, historically, when I would have one that big, I'd be like, I feel like I'm dying and I'd go into hospital. But I was like,
Wow.
I've done that. I've done that quite a few times. And I feel like if I'm dying, I'm doing the things I love. And turned to my husband calmly. I was like, listen, I'm having a really bad panic attack. I was like, it feels like I'm dying. Everything in my body right now feels fucked. It's like my vision's just going black. Everything's triggering. And I was like, so I don't want to be dramatic about it. I was like, but just know I love you. And I was like, if I die,
Oh
I was like,
no.
make sure you like fuck some hot bitch.
Melanie, wait.
Hear
Sorry.
me out. Hear me out. Okay. I have to give some credit to dying Mel. Because I literally felt like I was dying. And the thing about my husband Philip is he is like the sweetest, most loyal anime husband. Like if I died young, he would build shrines in my honor. He'd be tattooing my name on his body. And like I want the shrine, don't get me wrong. I want the shrine. I want to be immortalized. But I was also just like, I would want him to have a little bit of fun, Like I still want him to be mine if there's an afterlife, and like I want us to find each other again. But he shouldn't have like it's very generous of Mel because
That was generous.
20-year-old old Mel would have been like, if you look at any other bitch, you're gonna die while I'm dead. I will haunt your fucking ass. So, 37-year-old Mel who felt like I'm gonna be 37, who felt like she was dying, was like, yeah, like we're gonna laugh about this. And I went to see my therapist and we're here. It was just a big panic attack,
Yeah.
and I have them, but because it's so rare now, it's kind of like it's like a shock out of nowhere, you know. It's like imagine suddenly just starting to give birth out of nowhere. You know, you haven't had children for, you know. So that's it's a terrible example. I'm sorry. It's
But
just
it would be terrible. It would be very, very shocking. It
so it
would
was
be.
shit. It was
Yeah.
shit. But I bring it up just because I know a lot of people go through that time of year, and I think even if you're like doing like I was just watching a movie doing chill stuff, but I think it's the time of year you start to think about like people you haven't seen and like where life's going and like whatever. As an overthinker, as a highly anxious person, I'm prone to these things. I just generally run a super tight ship. So it
Yeah.
sucked a bag of big ones, my friend. But you know, it was weirdly empowering as well because afterwards I was like, I literally just kind of faced death today. Like that's how it felt. And I was
Wow.
like, and you know, I used to do that all the time. But weirdly, when it's all the time, yeah, you just get used to that. But out of the blue like that, I was like, yeah. And like, I kind of was just like, well, I'm doing what I love. I'm like loving the way I see I can. And yeah, I felt like I wanted to share it because it's not just me. A lot of people have those feelings come up this time of year.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're seen, you're loved. Be gentle to yourself, do all your self-care things. And you know, by the time I went, it's the irony of like trying to just deal with it myself and not rushing off to hospital. It was a non-event in a way because the next day I was like, okay, we're laughing about this. We are choosing to laugh because what else can you do? Isn't that all of life though? You know?
Yes. Yes. 100%. I think
Yeah.
it's sometimes the only way to survive the
Yeah,
trauma is through laughter.
I
And
agree.
the fact that you told Phil to go find some hot bitch is so funny.
Well, look, I told him he could fuck some hot bitches. I didn't tell him he could settle down and start a family with them.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I worded that wrong. I am sorry. Phil, you cannot settle. You just dibble dabble. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just get on, you got to get on with it, you know? And there's like a power in that, to be honest. Like, so yeah, like I'm a bit tired, but I feel like also empowered because I got through this big scary thing and like, man, I dread those ones. Like I
Hmm.
do everything I can not to have that level of panic attack.
Yeah.
But it happened, you know, and I did it and I weathered it and I fucking was a badass and yeah, life moved on. I took my CBD oil, I went and saw a movie, and here we are. So if you
Yeah.
are prone to the big emotions, as a lot of our community are, just don't,
Hmm.
you know, don't neglect your self-care, especially around that season, because yeah, it is, there's a lot of like different triggers. How
I'm
was
sure
your
there's
festive period? Too much? Too much?
no, I honestly would like to ask more if that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, good. Like how what did you feel like in your body?
Mm.
I don't want to like trigger anything. You
Yeah,
know what
no,
I
no,
mean? But
no.
like
You can ask
in your
anything.
body, how was it for you? You said
Mm.
that you were kind of blacking out.
Yeah,
Like what
like
else goes through?
the whole like it's like every nerve in my body fires. It's like
Wow.
all my muscles like tense to like a crazy level. And but yeah, like I feel like all my nerves start to fire off and I'll feel random pains like in my chest and in my face and
Ooh.
like random jumping muscles that are really disconcerting. Just your whole body kind of like sweating, like
Yeah.
super sweating, just like feeling like I can't form a sentence even because your brain just like kind of blanks out. And then weird moments of clarity and just like it's a lot. You know when they like show in a movie in a scene when someone's on the ground dying and everything's pulsing?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that, but like your body's on fire inside. But like, yeah, with this kind of one, I'm used to the feeling of like my nerves firing off, the muscle tensions, but the kind of like blacking out feeling,
Mhm.
which once I catch my breath, I can, like, I was able to rectify it quite quickly. A lot of it has to do with the breath. Like, once you, people don't realize, like, And talking mental health stuff, like the breath is like the single most powerful way I control my panic attacks, because taking a deep breath now to cleanse because
Yeah.
it's like for me personally, my experience, every time I've been having a panic attack, my breath has been lost to me. I'm
Mhm.
basically not breathing. So you are literally blacking out because of like not enough air. So
Oh yeah.
it's just your body's fight or flight. Yeah. My body's telling me I am dying, and so everything fires, like it's just, so once you can catch your breath and get your breathing back in order, I'm pretty good now, even with a big one like that. Like I went out that night because I was like, I'm not gonna, you have two options, right? You curl up in your bed and you like
Yeah.
wish for the world to end, or you get on with it. And I think I've spent so many years healing and like working on this that like I'm able to do the latter now. Just get on with it
Mhm.
because I am stronger. I'm not where I was. The scary thing when it happens is fearing that dark place when I had my nervous breakdown and winding up like having that again because there was a period where I lived where I would experience that all day, every day, that
Oh my
sensation.
God.
That's the only reason I'm able to weather it and be like, you're not dying. You don't need to go to hospital. But every time it feels like you are, like proper big panic attacks, they're not good. They're not,
No.
they're not something you want. But yeah, there's so many random symptoms that like, which is why even doctors will say go to the hospital, because especially like if you get chest pain or whatever, but I don't know. I chose not to this time because I was like, let's just see. I will kind of want to fuck around and find out. Like, I didn't want to go into hospital every time it happens, especially
Yeah.
knowing the end of the year can be a bit more triggering for me because I tend to have a lot on my mind. I was like, let's just see. You know?
Yeah. And you weathered it. And
Yeah.
how do you feel like in your body the days after? Like, do you
Mm,
feel like the after effects, like you're
totally.
tired?
Yeah, like that level of like anxiety as a general is exhausting. Like it's one of the
Mhm.
reasons I get tired so easily. But again, like I've really built myself up and spent a lot of time on self-care. So I tend to have a lot more energy than like you can't even compare it to how I was before. Like I can do most things now and have energy for it. But yeah, like obviously one like that, it does like it levels you a bit. Like you are a lot more low in energy. It's exhausting. It's like running like your body just ran a marathon for you on the spot because
Yeah.
everything fires for a while. And I tend to be more prone to being more anxious afterwards. Like I'm a bit more easily triggered. I'm a bit more easily exhausted, but I have so many tools in my belt now that like I'm able to, and I'm so lucky how I've set up my life. I'm able to just kind of withdraw a bit more and like nourish myself. And yoga is like insanely good for all that
Mhm.
nervous tension. Like meditation is equally important for the brain side of it, just like kind of grounding myself. Like it kind of prevents a lot. It's why I so rarely have ones like that anymore because I'm usually more grounded and I don't let myself stay up in my head so much because that's when it happens the most for me, when I like let myself ruminate. But yeah, yoga, fuck. Yoga has saved me so many times from like so much internal, like chronic pain in your body. It can be really uncomfortable after you want to shit yourself because your stomach's upset, like a lot of bloating and stuff. It messes your body up. It's not nice. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Like it's a real, it's a cruel, it's a cruel fate. But even like when I was chatting to my therapist, she was like, yeah, she's like, but the only reason you are able to pick yourself up like that is because you of everything you've dealt with already. Like that's why
Right.
you're able to manage it this way. So I was kind of like, yeah, I know people hate when you say it, but I wouldn't say I'm grateful for anxiety in any way, but I'm grateful that I've been able to pivot and use it as power. Because I don't think I'd be
Mhm.
doing this. I don't think I'd be chasing my dream of writing. I don't think I'd have a podcast. I don't think I would have a husband if I wasn't so anxious and afraid of the world, like, because it kind of made me like face my demons every day. You
Yeah.
face your worst nightmare every day and somehow you're still there. Sorry, it got
Man.
dark. It got deep.
No, it's powerful. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of beautiful to see you battle through it and then, come out on the other side like a freaking warrior. And, it's not something that is going to go away, but now you have these tools because you put in so much work
Yeah.
before. And like I've just been really thinking about like how just being alive is so beautiful and
Mm,
like how like God,
yeah.
there's so many tragedies
Mm,
like firing off at any given moment where people are just losing the ones they love or
yeah.
or passing away themselves. And so it's like to be here is, I mean, obviously it's not always easy to be alive,
Mm,
but to be here is beautiful and worth fighting for. And you have those things. You have the husband and Goose and all these things. And it's so beautiful to fight for.
mm,
Um, so I've just been kind of on that road myself of just trying to remember to be
mm.
grateful and live
Yeah.
and get off the phone and like and we talked about that in our last episode of what we wanted for
Mm,
ourselves in this coming year. And
yeah.
I have been really trying to read and watch as much as I
Yeah.
can because those are things I really love to do. I love sitting. I realized I just love sitting.
Yes, claim it.
I should probably not sit so much, but I really love it. I love sitting and reading. And I've just been I've been reading so many books
Mm,
and hanging out with the kids and watching movies with them and Armando too. He's there too. And so it's like every day we're here really is such a
yes,
blessing.
I
And
agree.
thinking that you were like going through
Mm,
this panic attack but you're like, you know what? My life is so good and perfect. Phil, have your fun for a little bit, but like everything else is so good. Like it's kind of like a beautiful thing to know that you're like, I'm good.
mm.
Life is
I
good.
wouldn't say perfect, but it's like I think like you said, like man, I can get depressed quickly if I start to pick apart things. And like, it's something I'm learning to manage as well. Like, I definitely have that depressive side. And like, I think one of the things about it is, like you said, I definitely have been spending time thinking about that, like life in general. And in a weird way, that's also helping me manage some of like my depressive moments, my panic attack moments, because I'm like, as shit as it is, like this is here in this moment. Like I'm alive. Let me feel it. Let me be in my skin and feel like this moment, like because it's part of me too.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, like it's not always easy to have that mindset. I think we both know that about each other, that like there's plenty of days the podcast doesn't see. We know that
Yeah.
about each other.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also think it's also what we both love about each other. Because yeah, like why not? Why not have some fun in this life? Because I do think it's so rare and like wild and there's no escaping death at the end anyway. We might as well live while we're here.
I know. It's so sad.
It's
It's so
so sad. Let's just
it's
say
so
it though.
sad.
That's it
Yeah.
though, isn't it? And the older you get, the closer it feels.
I
And
think
the
that's
more
what it has been.
fragile life feels. Like I'm not going to
Yeah.
pretend that one of the reasons I'm in therapy isn't because I have the occasional existential crisis. I do. I do. You can't not be an overthinking writer and not think about this stuff, yeah? We might
Yeah.
as well talk about it. And that's why I try to be so open about this stuff because we're all experiencing a version of it. Like we might as well. We might as well laugh. We might as well, I give myself a day here and there to feel really fucking miserable and sorry for myself. But at the end of the day, yeah, like it is my own imperfectly perfect world that I've created. And like, yeah, what else can you do?
Yeah. You freaking hold hands with your community and you laugh through the fire.
Yeah, that's it, eh? That's
Yeah.
it. You're hearing it here, listeners. The meaning of life on the podcast. We're just laughing about death and making making sex jokes about panic attacks. That's just how we roll.
The only way to do it. It's the only way to
Yeah.
survive.
But no,
But
I appreciate, as always, you making like a comfortable, safe space for me to talk about it. And yeah, I appreciate you asking questions. You can always ask if you're
well, good.
curious. Like I think even though it's scary to talk about, it's like more scary not to talk about it. I'm realizing
Mm,
it helps me feel it's like I love helping others by sharing, but it also helps me. It helps me feel
mm.
seen and like it's not just invisible, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, even something as silly as like telling an embarrassing
Yeah.
moment in your life, once you let it out, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still really embarrassing, but people can relate.
You're so
So
right. You're so right. I see we have 3 minutes left. We should probably read Camilla's bio before I
yes.
go on another tangent again, which is really like possible. I'm gonna let you do it today because I
All
have
right.
talked enough.
Okay. Kamilah Cole is a pseudonym of a Jamaican-born, American-raised author. By day, she works in publishing, and by night, she frantically types words she hopes to see in a book on shelves one day. In the past, she's also worked as a journalist and at a hotel, two jobs that gave you amazing stories to tell at parties. If she went to parties, oh, she is an introvert. She's told us this
Yeah.
herself. A graduate of New York University, Kamilah is currently based in the tri-state area, where she's usually playing Kingdom Hearts for the hundredth time, quoting early Spongebob Squarepants episodes, or crying her way through Zuko's redemption arc in Avatar: The Last Airbender. She is represented by Emily Forney at Bookend Literary Agency.
Now I have to
I
tell
can
you, you don't even know how much I had to like hold myself back from asking her about Avatar stuff. But I was like, you probably
surprise you
had
did
it.
it.
I know, I
Yeah.
feel like you've had it up to here of me guilting you into watching it. I left that one. I left that
Yeah,
one for a future
shocked.
ep.
I was shocked you didn't ask her about Avatar
Oh, well,
because when you said, "Oh, about the bio," and I thought, "Oh, here we go.
I
Here we
really
go.
wanted to hear
Got
some
Avatar."
trashy hotel stories because, like I also used to work in a hotel and you really do see
Oh,
things. Mine was a brief foray, but yeah, you definitely people are beastly. People are beastly. Like the shit I saw, like I remember immediately jumps to mind. I remember because I was doing housekeeping and I remember going into a room and it was just all red. We all panicked. We thought someone's been murdered. There's just slashes of red over the whole room. And we went into the shower. The whole shower was bloody. We're like
oh,
getting ready to call someone. My manager was like getting ready to call. And then I found a packet of bright red hair dye. So this beach had like dyed her hair, but like it looked like she had rolled around the room after she
oh my
dyed her
God.
hair in like manic, like those ultra bright colors, red all
Yeah.
over the room. I want to
Damn.
hear I want to hear those stories. So next time we have Camilla on, I'm gonna like probe a little more into that. But yes, before it cuts us off, without further ado, the Camilla Cole. Here she
Hell
is.
yes. Hell yes. Oh, I like the picture.
Yes, it's giving autumn realness. Hello.
Hi. Oh my gosh, you guys look amazing.
We were just
Melanie,
saying we got glammed up for you today. We
you guys got glammed up and I'm literally in like my bear pajamas right now. So
I
I feel
love
like
it.
maybe I should have put some effort in here.
Nope, you're perfect. You are
You
perfect
are
in every way.
perfect. Do you have rainbow braids in? They're
I
glorious.
sure do. They're to match my book cover.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That's so
They're
smart.
so
Yeah.
cool.
They're for my launch. So here's hoping that other people like I'm gonna launch a book.
You're launching. I mean, you are really launching a book. I mean, it's
8 days.
happening. How do you feel?
I'm in a near constant state of terror and dread. Um, but other debuts have told me that this is completely normal.
Yeah,
Mm.
And
100%.
I think I'm holding it together well, like I can still smile. I haven't burst into tears yet on this podcast anyway.
That's
Well, we've
winning.
only just begun.
You're right, you're right. The night is still young. Maybe I shouldn't jinx myself so soon.
We cry on the podcast all the time. So if it happens, you're in good company.
Okay, good. Always good to hear. We can all just sob together. It'll be very cathartic.
Yeah, I think that's just how life in publishing is. You
Yeah.
just you sob together, you laugh together, you do it all.
You
Mm.
Uh,
laugh and sob together.
yeah,
Feel
100%. But
terror.
what was that?
You feel terror at all the things required of you.
The good things, the bad things, the medium things, just pure terror all the time. We're making this job sound great.
It's the truth though. I mean, it's funny, like I remember like going through debut, not like it was that long ago. I'm still debut author, but
Sinners IO.
hey, but I honestly was like going through such a spiral
Mm.
mentally, through debut. It's a wild experience. And oh, there she is. There they are. Look, oh, thank you.
I did not mean to have that so close, but opportunity struck.
Yeah.
Hey, keep Sinner's Isle with you at all times. But I remember like spiraling, and you just get so caught up in your head sometimes. And Jill too, who we all love,
Amazing.
and
Author of The Divided Sky.
that's exactly right. Debuting this year, she reminded me to celebrate for my past self, for the self that wrote this book, that wanted to start writing in the first place, just to celebrate all of, like, for her. So yeah, so we can be scared and nervous, but we also just got to celebrate, because really it's such a huge thing. And your book is gorgeous. I've been seeing it everywhere. It's all over the internet. It is breaking the internet. uh,
I don't know about all that, but
It's true. I see it everywhere. But before we get into your book, we want to get into a little bit more about you. We want to know some random facts, which we have, painstakingly put together this hardcore list, um, of really in-depth facts. So let's get into the first one, which is, what is the strangest thing you own?
The strangest thing that I own is probably 7 different copies of The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. And I want to be really cool and be like, oh, they're like a bunch of like special edition copies that I collected, but no, like it's 3 of the hardcover and like 2 of the paperback. And then 1 special edition copy. Yeah, but I've got 7 copies of
How
that one book. I just love it a lot, you know?
You
So
just see it in the store and you're like, you know what? I need another one.
I'm not kidding. That really does.
I mean, it's
That's
great for the authors, like that bookworms are like this, like we just
Yeah.
more
We just need to
copies.
collect them. More is better.
I
Yeah.
agree. You're single-handedly keeping her afloat right now at this very moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's welcome. She can thank me later.
Yes, she must. All right, number 2. What is something you think about way too often?
Oof. I would say that my Roman Empire is Once Upon a Time, which was a show that used to air on ABC. And it is a show about fairy tales who have been transported to our modern world and are stuck under a curse where they don't remember, who they are and who they're in love with. And, the girl who's the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming has to come back and break their curse. And honestly, it was terrible, but it was amazing. And I think about it every single day of my life. I would say that my social media presence is like 30% book promo and then 70% me bringing up some random thing that happened on Once Upon a Time and then making a whole thread about it because that show was wild in all the best ways and I'll never move on. So why should any of you?
I love that so much, but that's the thing, like some of these things that have a special place in our heart, they're like, they maybe weren't even trendy in their time. They just like somehow grabbed a hold of us and held us forever.
Yes, it's about the nostalgia. I could not recommend this show to anyone, but I recommend this show to everyone, you know?
I hear that. I still can like very clearly remember what Rumpelstiltskin looked like when in his like glistening form.
Yeah. It was like green and had glitter on his face all the time.
But he played it so well. He could
So good. He was like oddly hot, and you were like, I'm not sure if you're supposed to be hot, but you're hot.
Yes, that's my whole childhood with so many characters. I'm like, am I supposed to be attracted to this teddy bear? Probably not. Probably not.
But listen, you're kids, you know, you feel how you feel, and then you move on, and that's between you, God, and AO3.
That's the truth right there. And that's, I think, why we all have become writers in some way. We just get to do it in our own fashion. We get to keep on creating stories and love interests and all the fun stuff. I love it. Is there a special place? Like, do you have a favorite place somewhere that you like to go to? Like when you really just want to feel, I don't know, happy or comfort?
That special place would be my bed. I love to be in my bed. I am an introvert, believe it or not. So my like when I am leaving my apartment to go somewhere, I am already thinking, when do I get to go back to bed? So my comfort place is wherever my nearest bed is. I am upset I'm not in bed right now.
You should have just recorded in bed.
I honestly considered it, but then you guys wouldn't be able to see my hair.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
Gotta
glad.
show off.
Yeah, I'm glad for it.
You just have to set the camera up so it's got hair angled. So it's giving hair angles, but you're like
know
cozy
what?
in bed.
Next time.
Yeah.
Bring me back. Bring me back for another.
Of course.
Deal. Yeah, just a halo of hair in the bed. I think that's perfect. Okay, last hard-hitting question is if you could be any animal, what would it be?
I would be a cat because I have a cat. Her name is Sora Mittens Cole, and all she does is sleep, then wake up and get scratches, and then go back to sleep. And I want that to be my life, you know? I am working hard to keep a roof over her head and keep her in cat toys, and she is asleep.
I think about this a lot.
I will be working like at my day job, and then I'll turn my head and she's asleep on the bed, and I'm like, why can't I be you? Yeah.
Okay, I agree. That's good. I like
Pets
that.
have it good. Pets have it
They
good
have
in
it
our
so
lives. They're just
so
like
good.
little queens and kings in their palace, ruling over us. They rule us. Let's be real. They trained us into this.
And we thank them for it. We're just like, oh, you're so cute. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah, especially cats, because you are starving for their love. Like a cat in particular, you're like, please, I'll do anything you want. Just look at me.
Look at me.
Okay, but my dog is like a cat dog because seriously, I'll be like, come Goose, come baby, give mama a hug. And she'll just be like, just stare at me and like not come. I'm like, you're not a real dog. What? Like, come on. What are we doing here?
Work for this. You have to work.
What's really funny is that Sora is a dog cat. I call her that all the time because I cannot go anywhere in this apartment. She follows me everywhere. If I come to the door, she runs to the door. While I'm working, she's trying to climb my leg, like, pay attention to me. And I'm like, go away. Go be a cat.
Oh, I love her. I love that. Does she have her own little laptop, like a little kitty laptop?
No, I want to get her one. But my friends keep making fun of me. So there was an article, I think on like BuzzFeed or whatever, that was like, here's a bunch of stuff to get your cat if you want to spoil them. And she has most of those items already. So I was like, no more toys, not until your birthday.
What's her name?
Her Her name is Sora
Sora.
Mittens Cole.
Oh,
Yes. She
okay.
gets the whole full.
Yeah. Well, of
Yeah.
course.
She's a member of the family.
Yeah. Is Sora from something? Like, is it from a character or something?
Yes, it's from my favorite video game in the whole world, Kingdom Hearts. That's the
Oh,
name of the main character, and he just bounces around Disney universes, helping the stories play out properly. And I've always loved him, so as soon as I got a cat, that was the name. There was no debate.
perfect.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we know everything about your cat,
This was never about me. This is about my cat.
which I love. I feel like we could keep going for a solid 45 minutes about it. But I want to know, did you know you always wanted to be a writer? Like, take us through how this all came to be.
Yes, I did kind of always know, like, for at least as far back as I can remember. I don't know what I was doing when I was like 2, but like I learned how to read from Hooked on Phonics. I'd moved to this country and I just wanted to write stories. I would collect printing paper from like the printer at school because in my day, when I was young, home computers weren't really a thing, like you would go to school and there's a computer. So I would steal from the printer at school and I would staple the papers together and write a story that took up the entirety of the printing paper. And it just like stories were a real and writing was a really huge escape for me because, as a new immigrant to the country, I couldn't really speak the way that everyone else did. And when I did try, like it didn't people weren't nice, because it was the 90s and being different was like slightly less tolerated than it is now. Not that it's like amazing now, but So
Yeah.
writing was because I was like, if I can't speak better than you, I'm gonna get better grades in English. I'm gonna know all the grammar. Like y'all will have nothing on me. Aries spite. So writing was always my escape, but it was also just something that I really, really, really loved doing. I loved telling stories and I always wanted to share those stories with other people, not people that I know. No
Mm.
one I knew was allowed to know I'd write books, but I was very determined to get published so I guess everyone else could know. It didn't make sense, but you know what? I thought I could pull it off.
Mm. Yes. And you did.
I
You
did.
did. And here we are. Now I
Here
have
we
to
are.
ask, when people bring up their star sign, I always like to know, like, what's something when you say you're an Aries, what's something like that's like super Aries that you identify with?
Probably the spitefulness, like you tell Aries no, they're like, yes, you tell Aries you can't, you're like, I can, like, like they're the first sign of the zodiac, so they're kind of known as the child of the zodiac in the good and bad ways. They have the youthful exuberance and the energy and just like that, love for the world that children have, but they're also stubborn and dramatic and exhausting and obnoxious. And I've always identified with both sides of Aries polarity. I gotta be honest. I embrace it.
Embrace it. Embrace it. I freaking love that. I
Yeah.
love
Gotta
this.
own it.
I love this journey for you too. I see it.
Mm.
I see it.
And I feel
Wait,
like even those like negative sides of these things, like if you're self-aware about it, it can be like really endearing. Let's be real. Like I often think about like anime characters and how like the most stubborn, petty ones are often my favorite.
So true.
yeah. No, it's the truth though. There's something so pure and good and like just fun when somebody really embraces the good and the bad and just is like, this is just who I am. And it's like, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s now, and I think that like when I turned 30, there was just kind of this switch where I'm like, this what you get. I'm not making any more transformations, guys. Like, either you accept this or like I don't know what to tell you. And like, yes, that's not the best thing in the world because I do have my flaws and I like to think I'm pretty self-aware about them. But you know what? I feel like I hope that my good traits, balance those well enough that I am a worthwhile person to know. But I guess I'll ask my friends.
Nah. Like my closest people like tend to see like a really fiery occasion, like I will rear up the like fiery Croatian in me. Like I will not see my friends disrespected. and I have to vent about things. I'm a real external processor. Poor Montoya's had her DMs overrun with my thoughts many a time, but they still, for some reason, they still love us. They still love us with our flaws.
It's because the good outweighs the bad. I really do think so. Like once you become more yourself and more comfortable with that, like I think that people are just attracted to that kind of confidence. So I like that about you, Melanie.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, what do you like about me? No, I'm just
I
kidding.
like everything about you, Angela.
everything. I agree.
I had to put that in there. Yeah. Thank you. Let's make this about me again.
Yeah, we
No,
should.
no, please don't. No, no. What was I wanting to ask you? Oh, okay. You mentioned you wanted to kind of keep your writing hidden from your family. I'm guessing they know now. Do they? Is this a secret? Uh-oh.
Are they gonna learn on debut day or like on the shelf?
So here's the thing. I was doing pretty good, you know. Kamilah Cole is not my real name. You know, I was doing real good. And then I went home for a vacation and my dad was like, you know, we know who you are, right? And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? It's so ominous. And then he was like, you're Kamilah Cole. And I was like, that's my friend. You know, I was printing their books so that I could read their book. That's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he recited verbatim my author bio from my website.
Wow.
And I was like, I am caught. Like, I was like on a police lineup, like, I admit everything on the record. That is me. And now they know. And my parents will be coming to my launch. But before that terrifying confrontation, only my sister and my best friend knew anything. Yeah.
I love the drama of this.
My dad is so dramatic, I swear. And my life was flashing before my eyes. I was like,
yeah. Why were you nervous about it? Just because, yeah, tell me why. Is this too personal? I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I have my media answer. But it's just like my parents have never been like they're such supportive, such good people, but like they never when I got up the courage to share my writing with them, like I remember like I think my mom lost it or something and they never finished reading it and like that was such a big deal for me that I was like never again. I am very easily discouraged by even small things because I have anxiety. So it just became a thing where it's like if I like have to do this again, then I'm just like I'm never going to let my dreams come true. So, you know, the plan was always to write under a pen name to keep my day job and my like writing life as separate as possible. But like just became this thing where I'm like, I'm not telling anybody anything. Like I'm going nowhere with this. If I fail, no one will know. If I succeed, that's my business. And then they just found out, and they have been lovely and supportive to the point where I kind of feel bad for leaving them out of the process to this point. But you know, I feel like old habits just die hard, you know?
Totally. And what like it's so beautiful that it has come full circle and now the cat's out of the bag and they're coming to your event. I mean,
They are.
God, that's so exciting. And it's beautiful. And it definitely sounds like it could be a really good book. Like this feels like a really great like story. Is it? Is it gonna be?
I don't know. Maybe in like 10 years when the trauma of the moment has faded, then I could write it into a book.
Yeah.
But I mean, for right now, like every time I think about it, the Kill Bill sirens just start playing in my head.
That's fair. That's fair. Like sometimes you need space from the trauma to write about it.
Just need like 9 more years and then it'll be fine.
Yes. Well,
What-
speaking of like lengths of time that it took to do things, that was a terrible segue, but she tried. Tell us a bit about your she got there. Tell us about your querying and submission process.
Okay, so that was kind of roundabout. So I have been working on So Let Them Burn since about 2018, which is when, well, let me save that for a later question. But since like 2018, it took me 2 years and like 38 rewrites and edits to get the book because I'd never revised a book before. I'd gotten to the point where I could finish it, but like revisions what was that?
Mm.
What's that about? And when do you stop? So um, when I finally felt like it was ready for querying, I had sent it off like one more round to betas, and then Pitmad was coming up. And I was like, oh, I'm so not ready for Pitmad. But then people started being like, tomorrow in Pitmad, I'll be posting my, this or that. Pause. PitMad is a Twitter pitching competition for any listeners who don't know, where you basically do a one-line pitch of your book with all the hashtags, and agents will come and like it or completely ignore it and destroy your dreams. And one or the other.
That's real.
But,
That is writer realness right there.
maybe I'm getting too real with the audience right now.
No, I love it.
But yeah, so this one was Pit Mad, and I wanted to participate, but I just didn't have the courage and I didn't have my notes back yet. And then my friend Emma Lord, the author of Tweet Cute and Begin Again, and how many of her books can I plug on this podcast? But she was like, I think you should do it. And I was like, you know what? I should. So I did, and the tweet actually ended up blowing up. It got like hundreds of likes. And I was like, oh my God, this is my moment. I'm gonna be rich and famous. And then I sent out my queries, and rejection and rejection and silence and rejection. Lying on the floor crying, telling my friend I was gonna quit and run away to the mountains. Months passed. I didn't sleep. It was, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
The running to the mountains thing is like real. Like every
so
couple
real.
months, maybe like I'd say once a month. I like have a
I was
meltdown
gonna say
to my
every
husband.
other week.
Yeah. And I'm just like, should we just move to the country and get some goats?
I'm already
Those
there, apparently. I'm already there.
yeah, but then, I met my agent, who is incredible, and also my worst enemy, and also my hero, and also a terrible human being. And, um, we, signed a contract, and then we were out, and we went on sub, in September. In September. Yes, let's say September. We went on sub in September of 2021. And then we got the offer like late April, early May of 2022, and announced in June of 2022. And now it is 2024. And that book comes out in 8 days.
Man. Yeah. What a story though. And like it makes me so happy for you to see all this buzz about your book, because truly you've been working your ass off to get it here. And now it's here.
It's just terrifying because, I remember the first time that my best friend read some of my work, it led to a huge fight between us, actually, because she stole my notebook that I was always writing in out of my backpack. She made photocopies of the pages. Then she replaced the notebook. And then when we were on the phone that night, she read from the photocopy pages to me, and I hung up on her. And we didn't talk for a month. But
Wow.
because that happened, she became like my first and strongest supporter. She read and kept absolutely any piece of writing that I gave her. She has like a big binder with all of my old writing on it. And she had to sit through so many stories that never saw the end before I finished my first book when I was like 27 or something.
Wow.
So if that's why my book is dedicated in part to her, because without her doing all that.
I'm smiling so hard right now because it comes right back to what you were saying before, which is like we all have like that's like a lot. Like I'd be really pissed at my friend too. But obviously in your relationship the good outweighs the bad, and it like wound up being a good thing. But like that is a testament to like your friendship with that person.
To be fair to her, we were 14 years old, so our frontal lobes were so far from developed at that time.
Oh man, this also sounds like it should be a book or some sort of sitcom. I feel like your life just needs to be played out in real time for all of us.
It
I would
does. And
just
reading
for
in
two
your
people.
bio, that you have worked as a journalist and at a hotel, and they're two jobs that give you. I'm just like, it's flagging my memory that your bio said that. I'm like, now I kind of want to know what are some of these amazing stories. Now I've heard these other ones.
I would say like from working in the front at the front desk of a hotel, you really see like the worst of humanity and you learn how to smile. No matter
Mhm.
what is going on, you smile. So yeah, I that whole time really taught me like just keep the smile on, get out of the situation. People are terrible. I don't want to give too many very specific details about the hotel, but like it was a time. It was a time. And as for being a journalist, like I met Rihanna twice in 1 week, and I got to hug Ashley Tisdale and like
Ashley
so
Tisdale.
like I just have random pictures of on my phone of me with celebrities. So like if you want me to start name dropping right here, I can, but like those are the kind of stories I got from being a journalist because I was an entertainment journalist. So
Again, we need a sitcom. We need a sitcom of your life. And I
it's
mean that in the most like complimentary way. It
Yeah.
sounds like you have lived, and I love it. I love it. Oh,
you.
okay, well, tell us about So Let Them Burn, because
Mhm.
again, like I keep saying, I see it everywhere, and rightly so. I've heard nothing but amazing things, so I'm waiting for mine to arrive. But yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
So Let Them Burn, I pitched it as a Jamaican-inspired Joan of Arc with dragons. That's the elevator pitch.
Bam.
But it, thank you. But it is about, these two sisters. The first one was chosen by the gods to wield their magic to free her island nation from a dragon riding empire. And she did that when she was only 12 years old. And now it's been 5 years. She still has all of this cosmic power. She is so freaking bored. But then
Oh,
she regrets saying that she was bored because soon her older sister bonds with an enemy dragon, and the gods tell her the only way to break the bond is to kill her sister.
whoa.
Yeah, they got a lot going on.
That is like everything I want right now. That sounds amazing. Now, where do you think the inspiration came from for this book?
It came from a lot of different things. I've always loved dragons, but the main piece of the story came in 2018 during the Met Gala, which was the Heavenly Bodies theme when Zendaya showed up dressed as
Yeah.
Joan of Arc. I've always been a huge, huge, huge fan of Joan of Arc's story. Maybe I shouldn't say that because it was really tragic, but like, it's fascinating. I've always found it super fascinating because she was 12 when she went to war and she was 19 when they burned her at the stake. So like she had a lot happen to her in a very, very short time to become a martyr and then a saint. So I've always been fascinated, but when I saw Zendaya at the Met Gala, that was the first time I was like, she could be black, you
Mm,
know?
mm.
And her story of being hearing voices that tell her to go and help liberate France from the English, it really translates well to, the story of Jamaica's like journey of getting liberated from the English. So, once I started thinking about this in terms of my own cultural history and the history of my island, like the story beats kind of started to fall together and it was just pouring out of me. And then the dragons are there because dragons. I cannot. I mean, yes, the dragons are there as a symbol of imperialism and the, military war complex that makes danger out of blah blah blah. But they're just cool. Like,
Love that so much. I also love dragons, so yes, yes, I need it.
yes,
And
I
and
love
I
them so
agree.
much.
There's a lot of things that like sometimes people read into the symbolism and stuff we write. It's like, I
And
thought it was
sometimes we
cool.
just need dragons. Sometimes we just need fucking dragons.
I had a whole answer ready. Like, I can't cut the dragons because they symbolize this, this, and this. But honestly, they are there because I've loved dragons my whole life and I want them to be there.
Mm,
Yes, that's it. That's
mm,
That's
it.
it.
I love that you took inspiration though from something like Zendaya at the Met Gala. Like
mm.
I I love that because it really is this beautiful thing where you do like sometimes inspiration just comes and you just have to go with it. And so I think that's so, so cool. And I clearly remember her outfit. And I mean,
Iconic.
anything Zendaya wears, she's winning. She's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is so beautiful. I freaking love that. And I can't
Yeah.
freaking wait for your book. Oh my God, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Oh,
That
yeah.
Thank you.
cover is a masterpiece. Like, so
Oh,
eye-catching. I agree. I see it everywhere. It lights up the gram. Like, it really does.
thank
It draws
you
your
so
eye.
much. It was
Yeah.
done by Jamaican artist Taj Francis. He's the
Wow.
did the art behind it, and then my designer is Jenny Kimura, who works at Little Brown Young Readers. But
Mm.
Taj was just he was like, I had to do this for a fellow Jamaican author. Like, I just really like I wanted to do this, and he turned out something that was so completely gorgeous that when they first showed it to me, I could not believe that
Mm.
was for my book. I was like, I'm not sure I wrote a book cool enough for that cover.
You did. You clearly did. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Like what has been, just the hardest part so far from your journey?
Mm.
Um, I think it's the waiting. I mean, something that a lot of authors like to say is that publishing is all about the hurry up and wait, like you will hear nothing for ages and then everything in one day, and you'll get it back in by the next day, and then hurry up and wait because you're waiting again. Like that has been very hard for me as someone who has anxiety, just if I don't hear anything, I assume the worst. If I do hear anything, I assume the worst. It's just been a very hard adjustment of being like, I want to know this thing, but like I won't get any answers about it. It may be months, it may be 5 seconds, but that silence does not necessarily mean bad. It just means nothing's going on. That's really, really, really hard to adjust to. So everybody, if you want to go into traditional publishing, like practice patience and probably like meditation or something, you'll need it.
Yeah. You're talking to my heart right now. I meditate daily. This is why.
Publishing gives you anxieties you didn't even realize you had.
Well,
True.
I'm an anxiety girl too. So like I'm there with you, like feeling that you're right. Like, yeah, I totally agree. The wait is like you just kind of have to become this, I don't know, this sentient god of waiting. Just like paused. But yeah. What about the best part so far?
The best part has definitely been connecting with other writers.
Yeah.
So I work in publishing, and like 3 jobs ago, my job was as an assistant publisher, publicity assistant. Oh my gosh, I can speak, I swear. Um, my job was an assistant publicity like person, and I got that job because I love talking about other people's books. Don't ask me
Mhm.
about my book, but I love boosting other people's books. Like I'm always posting like threads on Twitter or like random like book hauls on my Instagram just because, I know that for me it's that like as a reader, your favorite book could be a book that you just never heard of because so many books come out in a year, and it just really saddens me to think that somebody who needed a book may have just like completely missed ever hearing about that book.
Mhm.
So that's why I wanted to be a publicity assistant. But like even now, I think the best part has been connecting with other authors, other debuts, other authors who I used to read, who got me to this point. Like there's such a huge and beautiful community. And obviously, like not everyone's great.
Mhm.
Not everyone actually wants to be your friend. It's
Mhm.
pretty much the same as like all the rest of life. But when you find those people, who are like truly kind and who truly like want to help you and want to know you, like it just makes this entire experience so, so, so much better. I'm an introvert, but I'm not a loner. I could not do this without my cat.
Oh, well,
I'm so sorry.
No,
My cat
pets welcome. Pets are welcome on the pod.
My cat just jumped up here and scared me. I could not do this without my friends.
Your cat was like, I am your friend.
yeah, I am here. I am all you
She's,
need.
she's my only friend.
Oh, that's powerful. I see somehow we have 2 minutes left. So I want to ask, like looking back at all you've accomplished, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself before you started this journey?
Mm.
I would definitely tell her to just embrace the things that make her different. Because as a kid, I was just full of so much self-loathing for my accent, for my food, for my culture that was keeping me from assimilating into American culture, for the things that I was into, which was that awful, dirty anime manga thing no one was talking about. Like, like every single thing that I was into just served to make me feel more isolated from other people at the time. And I know that a lot of that was just me being a kid and super dramatic. But like, just if I had learned to embrace the things that make me who I am, sooner, I would have had such a different life and such a different experience. And I'm so much happier now that I
Mm.
just let my freak flag fly and see who wants to join in my parade. You know,
Yeah.
that I wish I could tell my younger self that like she doesn't have to change a single thing about herself. She just has to, learn which parts of herself she likes and then discard anything that doesn't serve her, and she will live a happy life.
Oh my
Yes.
Lord. That was,
Yes.
yes, great. That was like so perfect. And the way you worded it is just perfect. Because, yeah, it is also finding it for yourself, which of those parts you align with in your heart. Because, there
Mhm.
are parts of yourself that you want, like, that you want to get rid of sometimes too, like personally. But, like, yeah, I love that so much. And it's so true. And, like, I can't believe we've got less than a minute to go.
Ah!
Do not know where the time went.
We'll have to
We're having too much
obviously,
fun.
we were, and we'll have to have you on every single time a new book
Yes.
comes because there's plenty coming from you. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Yeah.
being amazing and embracing your perfect wonderfulness and magicness. Again, thanks for coming. And so we're so excited for you. I can't freaking wait to read your book.
Thank you guys so much. This is one of my favorite podcasts. I'm just so honored to have been here and like thank you for having me.
No, no, we're honored.
Yes.
Thank you. Like we are honored.
100% what Angela said. The honor is all ours. And yeah, like you're welcome back anytime. The three of us could talk the house down, I think.
Clearly.